Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and today we have a great comparison test for you. The BMW 1M versus the BMW M2. Okay, so let's drive the 1M first, give you a little background about it. It was only produced in 2011. They made 740 examples. It only came in 3 colors, Valencia orange like this one, black, and white. Orange is actually the most popular color, 309 produced in orange. The rarest color is actually black. Now this is powered by the N54 engine, which produces 335 horsepower and 370 foot-pounds of torque with overboost. And we'll do a little acceleration here. Wow. Now my car has essentially a full exhaust. It's got a N55 mid-pipe, which adds some power, and then a Borla Attack muffler. The biggest complaint I had with this car, and I bought it used, was that it was too quiet. And I think this is the reason, or one of the reasons, why the new M cars pump the fake sound. And the reason why is I get a ton of compliments, even in stock form, how good this car sounds. I pull up for gas, I go to a Cars and Coffee, everybody says, wow, your 1M sounds amazing. But with these windows up, you can't hear anything. It's very insulated. So now you know why your M2s and M3s, etc. have the fake sound. And I think it's one of the reasons because of this car. Now let's talk about production numbers, 740 of them. To give you an idea, a rare car, the E30 M3, they sold over 5,000 in the United States. And some of those low mileage cars now are 100 grand. This car, they only made 740. So there's a lot more E30 M3s, which is really a collectible car, than this car. Now this car only comes with a manual transmission. There's no SMG here, no DCT here. So if you want to get a automated manual or a dual clutch transmission, you're not going to want the 1M. You'll like the M2 better for that. It has a fantastic dual clutch transmission. Now this car is shorter than the M2. It's about 4 inches shorter and a shorter wheelbase, which makes a huge difference. This car is 172 inches long approximately. The M2 is about 176 approximately. So this is a 4 inches shorter car. And with that wide track and that short wheelbase, it just, it's a very nervous car, but in a good way. This is a joy to drive on these roads, and it has hydraulic steering, unlike the electric steering in the BMW M2. Now driving on these back roads here in northern New Jersey, this car is just a joy to drive. It's got a short throw, 6-speed manual, which is the standard transmission, and it really lives for the turns. Gas mileage, who cares about gas mileage, is about 19 city, 26 highway. I've owned this car for 3 years. I bought it used and I average 19.4, but I drive it spiritedly. I have 16,000 miles on this car. I bought it 3 years ago with 10,000 miles. So I think I'm the only YouTuber that owns both. And I've owned both for a long time. I've had the M2 about 18 months and this about 3 years. And I've owned a bunch of M cars and M3s before this, so I can make a complete comparison. Wow, this car just accelerates. Now this car has about 0 to 60 time of 4.7 seconds. It actually feels quicker than that. Now Car and Driver, if you read that from 2011 when they reviewed this car, they got 4.5, but they correct for temperature, weather, altitude, so that only can be done in the laboratory. So I think 4.7 is a realistic number for this car. This car is internet famous. Not only is it in my videos, but it was also the 1M that Doug DeMuro reviewed. So back in 2011, this car had a base price of $46,000. Fully loaded like this car, it came to $54,000. Valencia orange is an optional color, costs $550, just like Long Beach blue is a $550 option on the BMW M2. Both fully equipped my M2 with the executive package, Long Beach Blue and a stick. The stick is free. And this car, they're both $54,600. Now, what this car has over the M2 is hydraulic steering. Makes a gigantic difference. You won't notice that in the M2 because the electric steering is very, very good. If you want to drive terrible electric steering, drive a 2011 5 Series. That's probably the low point of electric steering, I think, for BMW. So one huge advantage it has, besides being a more nervous car in a good way, is the hydraulic steering, which makes a gigantic difference. You won't notice it until you drive both cars back to back. So another disadvantage of the 1M over the M2, the M2 has an upgraded iDrive over this. Navigation is much better. The M2 has a backup camera, rear view camera. This car doesn't. You can only get the sensors with this car. So the M2 would definitely make the better daily driver for those modern conveniences. Now the BMW 1M is exclusive. BMW will sell as many M2s as they can build. They've sold thousands already. There's thousands more on the way. They're going to have this car going until at least 2020. And it doesn't mean they're going to stop making it in 2020. They can come out with you know, an M2.2 version or something like that. Where the 1M, there's never going to be another 1M. And these cars have been climbing. A 16,000 mile like this car, at the time in this filming, realistically, I would say it's worth about $65,000. So this is one of the few cars that you could buy, modern cars anyway, except for like a Ford GT or something, that are actually worth more used than they were new. Now, to be fair, when this car came out new in 2011, I had my E90 M3, and this basically has the E90, E92 competition package. The differential and the rear suspension, brakes, wheels are from the E92 M3 competition package, but in a much smaller, lighter car. This car weighs about 400 pounds less than a comparably equipped E92 M3, and you feel the difference. It doesn't have as much horsepower, but it weighs a lot less, and weight, just like Lotus does. You take weight of a car, everything's better. Acceleration, braking, handling, and you have an exclusive car. You show up to a Cars and Coffee, especially a year or two from now, there'll be 10 M2s there, and there'll only be one M. See, even I say M1. So that brings up a good question. Why don't they call it the M1? Well, BMW's, you know, first supercar, or one of their first supercars, was the BMW M1. So the official name for this car is actually the 1 Series M Coupe. And for short, we call it the BMW 1M. Even my insurance card says M1 on it, because my insurance didn't have a code for a BMW 1M. Alright guys, we're sitting in the BMW M2 now, and before we take it for a drive, let's go over the options and the MSRP for this car. So the original MSRP was $51,700. Long Beach Blue is an option, $550. And then the only other option in 2016 was the executive package for $1,250, which I think is a must-have option, because look what you get for $1,250. The heated steering wheel, rear view camera, the park distance control in the rear, automatic high beams, which I really love, and then active driving assistant. That's the stuff like that keeps you in the lines of the road and stuff like that. I mean, I never use it. I have it shut off. Manual transmission is standard, so that's free. That's what this car has. If you want the dual clutch, that's an option. And that adds, I think, about $2,700 to the option. So it'd be about $57,000 with the dual clutch transmission. With a 6-speed manual transmission like this, we have $54,655. Now that includes destination charge, which is about $100 higher than the 1M at $995. And this car also has wheel locks, which is $160, but you don't need that. So $54,655 is $20 more than the 1M. So this car, fully loaded in 2016, you know, minus the dual clutch transmission, is $20 more than a 1M was in 2011. Sounds good, even if it's fake sound, it sounds good. The BMW M2, I think it's the best of the modern BMWs. I just thought the M4 was too big, even though the M4 was faster. It felt like a bigger car. It didn't have much soul to it, and that's in my opinion. But this car does. This car's got soul in spades, and I think it's the best M car you could buy today as far as visceral driving experience. Now, in comfort mode, it drives like a regular BMW. It's kind of like blah. It's a regular 2 Series. It's a regular whatever. You really have to put it in Sport or Sport Plus for it to come alive. Now, this car will rev match for you, as you know. I'm sure you've seen that in every video. Unlike the 1M, where you actually have to rev match, this car will do it for you. You can shut it off. You can go in like a Sport Plus mode, and then you can do an extra step and shut off the electronic nannies, and then you could heel toe yourself. Now, this car makes a great daily driver. This was my daily driver, or until I got the GLA 45, this was my daily driver. You can easily daily drive this. You'd have to put winter tires on if you live where I live in northern New Jersey, or a climate that has winter, of course, because they come with sticky summer tires. But this car is easily can be an all-rounder. The suspension is soft enough that you can do that. Why do people brake and not signal for no reason? But this can easily make a daily driver. You got more back room here. You could actually fit small adults in the back seat, certainly children in the back seat, where the 1M you can't really do that. There is very little leg room in the back seat. You probably have to be a kid in order to fit there. Again, we're going on New Jersey's bumpiest roads. You can't find a smooth road here, so the advantages of the M2. If you want a dual clutch transmission, you can get it, unlike the 1M that's only a stick shift. This car, of course, 5 years newer, has a better iDrive, has a better navigation. You can fit people in the back seat, which you really can't in the 1M. You can get this gorgeous Long Beach blue, which you cannot get in the 1M. Now, the fact that this car is essentially the same price the 1M was in 2011 is amazing. So 5 years have passed, and you're basically getting the newer version of the 1M for the exact same price. So in 2016 dollars, it's actually cheaper than in 2011 dollars. This is a newer car too, so you can lease it. You can buy this car brand new. So another point advantage for the M2 is you would have a full 4-year 50,000 warranty, where all the 1Ms now are out of warranty. I have had no problems with my 1M with out of warranty repairs, but something to think about. The M2, you're covered for the next 4 years. Okay, so which car is for you? Well, if you like modern conveniences, you like to rev match your downshifts, you want the better iDrive, you want a dual clutch transmission, a warranty, a backup camera, free maintenance, then the M2 is your car, and it makes a very compelling argument for the M2. It's probably the best of the modern M cars. But if you want visceral driving experience, 1M all the way. Not only do you get that driving experience, it's more exclusive. There'll be 10 times as many M2s as 1Ms, and the car appreciates every year. Now, will the M2 be, a classic one day? Will that have future appreciation? It might, especially if it's the last manual transmission M car. But remember, they're going to build 10 times as many M2s as 1M. So if the M2s are collectible 20 years from now, imagine the price of what a 1M will be 20 years from now. So again, you can't go wrong driving these cars. I've owned both for a long period of time here, 3 years and 18 months. When you get in the M2 after driving the 1M, it just feels like a electronic modern car. It doesn't have the visceral feel that the 1M does. But again, we're splitting hairs, and choose which is best for you. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below which car you would choose, and share this video with your friends so our channel can grow. We'll see you next time.